What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2025 Honda CR-V EXL. Huge thank you to the team over at Safford Honda of Arlington, Virginia for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you are interested in this particular CR-V or any Honda product, then I'll be sure to have their information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. It is a cold and windy day outside here today, so I apologize in advance if there is any wind noise in today's video. But just like usual, first I'm going to talk about the exterior and the performance. So like I said, this is a 2025 Honda CR-V EXL, and this particular one's been painted in solar silver metallic. I wanted to preface this video by saying there have been no changes made to the CR-V for the 2025 model year. So with that in mind, as standard with the EXL, you get LED headlights with automatic high beams, as well as LED daytime running lights and LED turn signals. You may also be able to tell that you get this chrome trim piece that separates the daytime running lights from the headlights themselves, and that chrome trim piece runs across the top of your grille. Now, talking about that grille, you get that gloss black front grille with the Honda logo located at the center. When you come down just a little bit more, you get the satin black lower fascia with 4 integrated parking sensors. You get 1 there, and there for a total of 4. And I also just really like the way that the new CR-Vs look. I think they look nice, sharp, they look aggressive, they look sporty, even though this is not a sport model. I really like the body lines up here at the front end. And I also wanted to mention that this one's been spec'd with all-wheel drive, so you get 8.2 inches of ground clearance. However, if you got front wheel drive, which is what comes standard, you get 7.8 inches of ground clearance. Here comes the wind. I apologize about that. But anyways, again, satin black lower fascia. That satin black lower fascia leads into your satin black wheel arch moldings. When you come down just a little bit, as standard with the EXL, you get the 18-inch silver painted wheels, and the wheels are wrapped in 235/60 Bridgestone Ecopia HL 422 Plus all-season tires. I'll give you a view of the tread pattern on these tires here real quick. And I also wanted to say, if you're not a fan of the way that the standard wheels look, there are 2 optional wheels if you wanted to pimp out your CR-V. However, if it was me, this was my daily, I'd be fine with the standard wheels. Anyways, coming on down the side, you get the body color mirror caps with integrated turn signals, and as standard, these side view mirrors are heated, manual folding, and you will find your blind spot monitoring on the upper left hand side of your driver's side mirror and on the upper right hand side of your passenger side mirror. Now I'm going to take a few steps back and give you a side profile shot of this thing. No roof rails. However, the trim level below this, which is the Sport Hybrid, you do get the gloss black roof rails. However, EXL, no roof rails. However, coming down just a little bit, you get the satin chrome window trim. You also get the body color door handles with keyless access. Just keep in mind, however, the keyless access function is only on your front 2 door handles. The rear 2 door handles do not get the keyless access function. However, found at the bottom of all of your passenger doors, you get that satin black door cladding. Also, here on your driver's side, you have your fuel door. Just press on it, it will open up. Reveals your capless filler neck, and 87 octane will do you just fine. Now up top here, you have your body color antenna. You get the body color roof spoiler with the satin black trim. 3rd brake light, rear window defroster, rear wiper, and LED combination taillights come standard. Here is a rear 3/4 shot of this thing. Here's a little booty shot of this thing. You get the chrome badging back here with the CR-V lettering and your Honda logo. This is where you will find your backup camera, and the EXL is the lowest trim level you can get with a height adjustable power liftgate. All right, taking a look at what we got going on here in the trunk area. You do get these folding 2nd row seats for some additional storage space. So you can see you probably get an additional about 3.5 feet of storage space with those 2nd row seats down. You also get 2 LED lights back here. You get a grocery bag hook there, a grocery bag hook there. I'll give you a closer view of what the grocery bag hook looks like. Also, only found on the driver's side, you have a 12-volt power outlet, little storage cubby here, storage cubby there, and you can see this piece right here. Well, you can bring this up. So there are kind of 2 levels that you can have this set to. This is like flush with this piece here. However, if you need a little bit more height because you got a big object in here, you can pull this back, let that fall, and then you get about 2 inches right about there. That goes a little bit lower. Anyways, underneath this, you may have been able to tell, you get a spare tire, and then you also have your jack and your little fuel filler thing right next to the jack there. Other than that, that's kind of about it for what we got going on here in the trunk area. If you wanted to set the height, you could pull this down a little bit, and then you'd hold it, and then every time you'd open up the trunk, it would be opening up to this height right here. Anyways, that's kind of about it for the trunk area. If you come down just a little bit, you get the satin black rear bumper with 4 integrated parking sensors, and this one being the EXL. The LX, the EX, and the EXL are the gas only trim levels, so the EXL is the top trim level. However, all 3 of those trim levels get a max tow capacity of 1,500 pounds. The hybrid models get a max tow capacity of 1,000 pounds, and really that's kind of about it for the exterior of the 2025 EXL. Again, this is the top trim level with the gas only engine. The other trim levels above this are hybrid only. But anyways, I guess speaking of power plants, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals the 1.5 liter turbo 4-cylinder that produces 190 horsepower and 179 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to a CVT for a 0 to 60 time in 8.3 seconds. And if you were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 26 miles per gallon in the city, 31 miles per gallon on the highway for 28 miles per gallon combined with all-wheel drive. This does come standard with front-wheel drive, so if you wanted all-wheel drive, that is going to cost you an additional $1,500. Also, if you want a simple powertrain, this might be the way to go. Again, the LX, the EX, and the EXL are the ones with the gas-only engines. They're also the hybrids, which are all sport models. I'm pretty sure that the Sport L, and the Sport Touring Hybrid. If you want fuel economy, the hybrid's the way to go. If you want just simplicity, the LX, the EX, and the EXL might be the way to go. Again, this is the top dog gas-only trim level. But if you're enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 50,000 subscribers, and I cannot reach my goal without your support. So if you're enjoying the video, if you've learned anything thus far, please take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior. Moving on into the interior, as mentioned earlier, you get keyless access as standard. So all you have to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, put your hand behind the door handle, and it will unlock. You can also lock it if you run your finger across those 3 lines there, and it will lock back up. This is what the key fob looks like. It's mostly black, and going over the functions on it, starting from the top, you have your lock function, your unlock function, your power liftgate function, your remote start function, and your panic function. If you wanted to remote start this, all you have to do is lock it first, press and hold on this button, and she will fire right up. And that is what the 4-cylinder sounds like being fired up from the exterior's perspective. And now, taking a look at what we got going on here in the interior. This one's been spec'd with the black leather upholstery, so when you step up to the EXL, you get the leather trimmed seats. However, because this one has been spec'd with the solar silver metallic exterior paint, the only interior color option you can get is the black. However, dependent on which exterior color you choose, you can either get a black interior or you can get the gray interior. Again, it all depends on what your exterior paint color is. But we're going to start here on our door panel. So most of the door panel up top here is vinyl wrapped. I just did a video with the EX, so if you're comparing the EX and the EXL, I also have a video with the EX linked in the upper right hand section of this video here. But when you step up to the EXL, you get the 2 memory seat adjustment settings. You have your power side mirror controls here, your unlock and your lock functions. This button is going to restrict your passenger window privileges. You get automatic up and down windows at all 4 corners. That is another thing that you get with the EXL that the EX did not give you. The EX only gives you the automatic up and down windows in the front. Again, the EXL gives you the automatic up and down windows at all 4 corners. You get a padded armrest here. I wish it was a little bit better padded, or a little bit more padding. However, it is leather wrapped or leatherette, one of the two. You get some accent colored stitching, some storage space. Maybe you can set a water bottle down there as well. Another thing that the EXL gives you is the 8-speaker sound system, whereas the EX gives you the 6-speaker sound system. And then if you step up even higher to like the Sport, I believe the Sport L or the Sport Touring, you get the Bose sound system. Nonetheless, as standard, you get a 10-way power driver seat with power lumbar, and you also get memory settings for the driver. The front passenger gets a 4-way power passenger seat, and as standard, these front seats are heated. Now, let's step into the interior. Take a listen to what it sounds like when you close the door. Now, Because we remote started it, you still have to do the same procedure as if you were just going to start this thing normally. Push button start, and that is what it is like to start this thing up from the interior's perspective. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you throughout the entire interior. So first things first, you get a defroster here for your front driver window. You get a defroster over there for your front passenger window. Then you get an HVAC vent. This is to open and or close your power liftgate. You have to press and hold on it. And then that is to turn your traction control system on or off. Coming to the bottom of the steering wheel, if you flip that down, that gives you access into your manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. You can push the steering wheel away from you, you can bring it towards you, and it also moves up and down. Once you find your comfortable position, all you gotta do is lock that right back into place. And now, let's take a listen to the turn signal. That is what the turn signal sounds like here on the CR-V. Not only is this your turn signal control stock, it is also your high beam control stock and your headlight control stock. So if I flip down like that, that is going to turn the headlights off. That one more time, now the headlights are in the automatic position. Parking lights on, headlights in the always on position. I like to leave it in the automatic position. Now zooming back out, comparing the EX to the EXL, the EXL gives you the leather wrapped steering wheel. It is not heated, but it is leather wrapped, and it feels much more premium than what you would have gotten in the EX, which would have been the vinyl wrapped steering wheel. But just like any other vehicle, you have your horn at the center. So let's take a listen. That is what the horn sounds like here on the CR-V. And now going over the functions on your steering wheel, this is to go forwards and or backwards on a track or switch between your different preset radio stations. This is to volume up, this is to volume down. And then beneath that, these two controls here are for your TFT meter display, your partially digital gauge cluster. So this area right here, this more specifically right here, is configurable. I will show you that here in a minute or two. And then that is to go or basically speak to the vehicle, and if you press and hold on that connected to CarPlay, that will bring you into Siri. Now, coming to the right-hand side of the steering wheel, this thing comes standard with adaptive cruise control. So here are your cruise control / driver assistance features. Now, speaking of your driver assistance features, Honda calls their features Honda Sensing. So those features include adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation braking, road departure mitigation, the lane keep assist system, and the traffic jam assist. So here are your adaptive cruise / driver assistance settings. Then you have your windshield wiper control stock, and moving into our gauge cluster here, you can see on the right hand side you have your analog tachometer. Again, from here over is digital, so you can see your digital speedometer readout. This is letting you know what drive mode you're in. Right now we are in the normal mode. Then you get your ambient exterior temperature, your odometer, transmission status stuff, your fuel gauge down here. And you can see that gas pump right there has an arrow pointing to the left. That means you would fill your vehicle up with fuel on the driver's side. And then over here you have your tachometer. That is your Honda Sensing, so your driver assistance features there in green, and then that is the time. Now again, to control that screen, you have the home button and that scroll knob. So you can scroll between the different things. Like you can see you got your range and fuel stuff, speed and time. You can go to your audio stuff, phone stuff, navigation stuff, driver attention, all-wheel drive torque distribution, seat belts, maintenance, safety support. Nothing. Adjust the brightness of this. You can go to the gauge display settings, warnings. So basically you kind of get the idea. You can pop up anything. So we can go into warnings, there are no warnings. You can go into range and fuel, speed and time. You get the idea. Basically you can pop up what you want to there on this side of the screen. You can go into your driver attention stuff. Very easy to use. That's what I like about Honda. It's literally these two buttons, and you just push on that to select something. These two buttons, very easy to control that TFT meter display. Now moving over to here, the EXL is the lowest trim level with this screen. So this is the 9-inch infotainment system with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto connectivity. This is the first CR-V, so this is the cheapest CR-V with the 9-inch screen and the wireless CarPlay and the wireless Android Auto. The trim levels below this have a 7-inch screen with wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto. So I'm going to bring us into the home screen. You can see on the left hand side of this display you have these physical buttons: physical home button, back button, audio button or audio control here. Push on it, it's going to mute the audio system, and then these are to go forwards and or backwards on a track. Everything else on this screen is touchscreen, so you have all your different shortcuts into phone, FM, Bluetooth audio connect. You can adjust the shortcuts there, or you can go into the display mode. You get your display mode, I believe, like auto. You have your display mode off. I think you can press that home button again and the display will come back on. But basically you can adjust the brightness of the display here down low. Now, Also, you get your time, you get your audio stuff up top there. This is what the home screen looks like. You do get Sirius XM with this thing. You can also pop up your fuel stuff on here if you wanted to as well. Swiping over, you get your vehicle settings, general settings. Basically, you can go into your display mode again. But you can go to your settings menu, adjust that kind of stuff. You can go into your vehicle settings, which are going to adjust, like, I believe, like the high beams. You can go into your lighting setting. You can turn the automatic high beams on or off. You can adjust all that kind of stuff there. So I like how it kind of breaks them up into like your door and window setup, all this kind of stuff. And then you just have your general settings here for the screen. So very easy to use. Definitely appreciate that. And really, there's not too much going on this infotainment system. Again, in my opinion, I think it is very easy to use. Now, beneath that, you get your 2 HVAC vents. This is your hazard button. Again, as standard, you get heated front seats. You get 3 levels of adjustability with your heated front seats. Dual zone automatic climate control. You have your temperature controls both there and there. Press on that. It's going to turn the automatic controls on. Then you have your fan speed control here. Your readouts, which way the air is blowing. You get the idea there. And then this is to turn your rear defroster on, as well as your heated side view mirrors. And that's kind of about it for that. Beneath that, you get a 12-volt power outlet over here. You get a USB-C port, a USB-A port. This is going to let you know where if the passenger airbag is on or off. Now, as standard with this vehicle, you get a wireless charging pad. This is an iPhone 14 Pro Max, one of the bigger phones on the market, and I'm going to put it in the wireless charging pad, and you can see it does fit. And when it is charging, you get the battery up here with the lightning bolt, and you get those 2 lines that kind of look like Wi-Fi lines, or 3 lines, excuse me. That's where it lets you know if the phone is charging in the wireless charging pad. Now, beneath that, you get your drive mode selector here. So you get 3 drive modes. You get your normal mode, you get your econ mode, and your snow mode. So again, normal mode, econ mode, snow mode. I'm going to leave it in normal mode. And again, it lets you know what mode you're in right there. This is to turn the auto stop start system on or off. I went on a road trip a few weeks ago in a Lexus NX, and it had hill descent control. Hill descent control is very, very nice when going over mountain passes. You don't really have to put your foot on the brake as much as you otherwise would if you did not have hill descent control on. Very, very nice slept on feature. And then you have your electronic parking brake. When it is engaged, you get that red light that illuminates. If you wanted to disengage it, you push your foot against that, push down, and that will disengage the parking brake. Then you have your brake hold function here. When the brake hold function is on, basically the vehicle will hold you in place by itself with its braking system. And if you wanted to move forward again, all you would have to do would be hit the accelerator. Then you have your drive modes, or excuse me, your transmission selector here. It is leather wrapped. Then I believe this is sport mode and low mode. Now, behind that, you get your 2 cup holders, a spot you could set your phone, and a nicely padded leather wrapped armrest. If you open up the armrest, you get a divider. You can move either there or there. So it's got 2 positions. It's either there, or you can have it be there, or you can take it out. No connectivity down in here. I'd say it's about 8 inches wide, or excuse me, 8 inches down, and about 10 inches this way, and maybe 8 inches this way as well. So a decent amount of storage space down in there, but again, no connectivity down in there. Over here, one thing that I really like about this vehicle is that you get a lockable glove box, and you can see your owner's manual is in there. You can still fit your napkins and straws. However, I do wish the glove box was a tad bit bigger. And then this is what the passenger side looks like. Again, power front or passenger seat, and these seats are comfortable. I'll get into that here in a minute. Another thing that the EXL gives you that the EXL does not have is the auto dimming rear view mirror. Definitely very nice to have. Auto dimming rear view mirror. Both of your lights up here are LED. This is whether you want the lights to turn on or not when you open up the doors. So when it is flush like that, when you open up the doors, the interior lights will turn on. If you have it set to off, they're not going to turn on, and then that is like instant on. One thing that is nice, you can see these 2 lights here. So when you're driving around at night, it is subtly illuminated down here, so you can see what you're grabbing, but it is not going to mess with it's not going to be too bright to where it's affecting your eyes when you're driving at night. So I really like those 2 features. I have the same thing in my Ridgeline. And then you get a power sunroof here. It does slide, and it also does tilt as well. You get a spot you can set your sunglasses. You get illuminated vanity mirrors, and then these slide in and out. So when the sun is in that awkward position, you can pull that out, and boom, it's going to block it. Also, driver OPU panel. front passenger, poop handle, and that's kind of about it for what we got going on here in these front seats. So a couple things I wanted to highlight that you get when stepping up from the EX to the EXL if you wanted to skip the Sport Hybrid. Again, if you're not looking for a hybrid and you're comparing the EX to the EXL, here are a couple things that you get with the EXL that you do not get with the EX. So starting with the first thing, you get the front parking sensors. I also believe you get the rear parking sensors on this. So the front and rear parking sensors you get on this, you don't get on the EXL. You also get the power passenger seat. You get the 8-speaker sound system as compared to the 6-speaker sound system. You get the 9-inch display with the wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, rather than a 7-inch display and wired Android Auto and wired CarPlay. You also get leather. You get the power liftgate. You get the memory driver seat. You get the wireless charging pad. You get the auto dimming rear view mirror, and a couple other things I'm sure I am forgetting. And now I'm going to throw the entire window sticker on screen. You can take a look at everything that you get as standard. This one has no options on it. So basically I'm just going to highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2025 CR-V EXL is spec'd is $37,850. Now, this is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. I think this is definitely expensive, but it could be worse. You know, I think you get a lot for your money here. It's practically fully loaded. I guess it is lacking ventilated front seats. It's lacking a 360-degree view camera system. Other than that, I think it's pretty well equipped. Also, it is lacking a heated steering wheel. I wish they would put a heated steering wheel on the EXL, but you have to step up to the Sport Touring Hybrid in order to get the heated steering wheel. Anyways, I want to show you what we got going on in the rear seats before moving into the driving portion of the video. So, another thing that you get with the EXL that you don't get with the EX are the auto up and down rear windows. You don't get that with the EX. You do only get the front windows with the EX, whereas this is all four. All of this vinyl wrapped, padded armrest, some storage space. You could set a Deer Park water bottle. No, that is not mine. Again, automatic up as well. You get a speaker there, and this is what your second row seats look like. By the way, these seats do recline, and I will show you that here in a minute. Up top here, on the driver's side, you get an poop handle and a spot you could set your dry cleaning. The passenger side, you get the poop handle, but you can't set any dry cleaning on that side. You do not get a seat back pocket behind the driver's seat, but you do get a seat back pocket behind the passenger seat. Would have expected a seat back pocket behind the driver's seat, but oh well. Then here you get your 2 HVAC vents, your 2 USB-C ports, and you also get 2 cup holders here in your armrest. By the way, the armrest is nicely padded. You get quite a bit of knee and leg room. I'm 5'9", adjusted behind myself. You can see knee and leg room there. Here's another view of that knee and leg room. And when it comes to headroom, being 5'9", I've got a good amount of headroom left over as well. Now, I did say that these second row seats reclined. So if you come over to here and you pull up on this, you can recline the seats. So now seats nice and reclined. I could do a long road trip in this thing. I like the reclinability that we get here in the second row. And then last but not least, you also get a dome light back here that you can set to off, door, or instant on. But really, that's kind of about it for what we got going on here in these rear seats. So, you know, we talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we talked about what's going on here in the interior of this thing. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, now on to the driving portion of the video. I always like to show this off because just watch. You see how when you wash the windshield, it's blowing out of the windshield wipers themselves and not blowing all over the windshield? I don't know, it's something small like that. I personally appreciate it. I know it's something small, but take a listen to the acceleration. Easy acceleration. I mean, is it going to be the fastest thing you've driven? No, but it is going to be fuel efficient. So I'm basically making the same video that I just made with the EX, because the EX in this exact same power plant, and funny enough, the exact same exterior color as well. All the differences really between the two are here on the interior. So, you know, I just did a video with the EX, and that was a great car because it's not going to break the bank. And it's going to give you everything that you really need on a vehicle. It's not going to give you a whole bunch of extra features. Like, this is going to give you a few extra features, like the leather, like the memory seats, automatic up and down windows at all 4 corners, auto dimming rear view mirror, and just nice features like that 8-speaker sound system compared to a 6-speaker sound system, and stuff like that. However, you know, if it was me, and I was comparing the two, I'd really have to look at them side by side in person, because this really does not cost that much more. I believe it's probably, I think, like $2,000 more, maybe $2,500 more, and I definitely see value in that $2,500 in my personal opinion. You know, this thing is definitely going to feel nicer here on the interior, no question, because it has leather and not cloth. However, I do know, like my mom in particular, she prefers cloth to leather. Even though her new car does have leather in it, she prefers cloth, which I know there are some people out there that prefer cloth as well. So, you know, that might be a selling point to you, is that you'd rather have the cloth than the leather, or hey, you might rather have the leather than the cloth and a few of the extra features that you get with the EXL for not a whole bunch of more money. I think the EX was like $3,500 or $35,200, and this one is $37,850. So what is that, $2,500 about? What's that? No, actually 6, 7, so 20, a little bit more than 2,300 something. I don't know, I'm not doing my math. I think it's like, yeah, $2,600 more with this. So, you know, $2,600, I do see value there. Again, just my personal opinion. Now, one thing I always like to mention when I'm making videos with Hondas is their reliability. Before I get into that, take a listen to this acceleration here. So is this thing going to be the fastest thing you've ever driven? Definitely not. But it is going to be quick enough. I mean, if you want something that's going to blow your socks off, you're not looking at a CR-V, right? This thing is going to give you that good fuel economy. It's going to be reliable. It's going to be a smooth power plant. One thing I do like about the EXL compared to like the Sport Touring Hybrid, or what was I going to say? I was going to say, I'm not comparing those two. Scratch that. What I'm saying is that the hybrid Hondas are actually pretty smooth. You know, there are certain vehicles that you get in, certain hybrids that are very clunky. Now, Honda does a great job with their hybrids. Their hybrids are seamless. I have driven, you know, some Jeep 4xEs that are just the worst hybrids I've ever driven. They're just terrible. But Honda does a great job with their hybrid. It's like you can't really feel the hybrid turn the engine off and come back on. It's just, again, it is a seamless transition between the two. So, you know, it really comes down to what you're looking for, because the hybrid's going to give you better fuel economy. It's also going to give you a little bit more power. But if you're looking for just a simple power plant, well, then the EX, the LX, and the EXL might be the way to go, because there's just less going on with those. So for the long term, you know, I don't know which one would be more reliable. I can think of in my head which one I think would be more reliable for the long term, but I think this being a Honda, their hybrids have to be pretty reliable. But if it were me, I would probably go with the EXL. I do wish that they came with like a gas-only trim with the same sporty appearance that you get with the Sport, Sport L, and Sport Hybrid, Sport Touring Hybrid. But you don't. So that is one big, that would be a selling point for me for like the Sport L or the Sport Touring Hybrid. The only thing is about those sport trim levels is that you get orange interior, accent colored stitching. Some people might like that. Some people might not like that. I'm just throwing things out there, but it's a CR-V. It's comfortable. It's going to drive great. You can fit your family in it if you have 2 kids, maybe even 3 kids. 2 kids is kind of the limit for me. So overall, I think it looks great. It drives great. It's comfortable. It's reliable. It's fuel efficient. And the EXL has the 8-speaker sound system. If you need a little bit better of a sound system, I believe it's either the Sport L or the Sport Touring Hybrid that gives you the Bose sound system. Nonetheless, it's a great driving vehicle. It's well insulated from the outside world. Take a listen. I've driven this thing at highway speeds, and it is still well insulated at those 50, 60, 70, 80 mile an hour range. It is still nicely insulated from the road and the wind noise. But that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm on my journey to 50,000 subscribers, and I'm trying to hit that by the end of the year. So if you enjoyed the video, if you learned anything from the video, please just take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. Those 3 things look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm, and that is what helps me grow. So I'd appreciate it if you do those 3 things. Yeah, that is it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.